Marina Shapelsky. Hi, this is immigration attorney Marina Shapelsky. Today we're going to talk about immigration news in the United States and anything that has to do with U.S. immigration. Hello. Saying hello to all my friends who are joining, who watch every week. All right. I'm just going to give a few minutes for people to join while I prepare and go over what I'm going to talk about, since I actually had some things in mind. I just want to bring them up here. It's spring. I hope you guys like my t-shirt. This is Brooklyn, New York, that I'm wearing for the show. Brooklyn, because I'm from Brooklyn, representing. Love this t-shirt. I actually found this in the men's section of Abercrombie and Fitch, and I ordered it because I love it. It's exactly what I want to represent and wear. Brooklyn, because I'm from New York City, from Brooklyn. Now I live in New Jersey, of course, but originally my heart will always be in New York. Well, the first news of the day is that green card backlog, the delays in green card, increased in March by an additional 4.8%, and that's 6,000 cases. So the backlog of all the immigrant visas around the world in the National Visa Center. I'm sorry. I didn't say increase. I meant decrease. So they're starting to move on these cases. The backlog went down by 6% to 908 cases. So it went down from 408,000 approximately to 388,000. The number of green card applications whose cases were documentarily complete and ready to be scheduled for an interview decreased a little bit already in March in these 21 days by 6,000 cases. So it is a little bit helpful, but it's not like super fast. So that's where we are with the national visa centers. Let's talk about the new app that people are using now on their phones to apply for U.S. asylum at the U.S. border in Mexico and even in Canada in some cases. It's very glitchy, people are saying. It doesn't work as well as it should. It knocks you out when you're using it. It's hard to upload things, and it's generally very difficult to use. In addition to that, some people who are at the border don't have access to a smartphone in Mexico because it has to be a Mexican SIM card and phone. So it's really hard, and immigrant advocates around the United States are complaining about it, okay? Now, everyone who's watching the news heard about the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank, and this is one of the biggest commercial lenders in the United States. They weren't like a regular bank like Chase, for example. They were actually a lender bank for technology companies. They largely focused on lending money, giving money for growth, for investments, for upstarts to technology companies and pharmaceutical companies. And anybody who was looking to use technology in different spheres of business. And they said that this will affect immigrant workers and immigrant entrepreneurs very harshly, because nearly 44% of technology companies in US were started by immigrants, and more than 70% of technology workers in Silicon Valley, this is where all the technology stuff is happening, were born in another country. So they're not US people, they're immigrants. A presidential advisory panel was formed and recommended extending the H-1B grace period to 180 days. A presidential subcommittee on immigration in Congress has recommended that the U.S. extend the grace period for people who were laid off, foreign workers on H-1B visas, with all the technology companies' layoffs, including the people who were affected by the fallout of the shutdown of the Silicon Valley Bank, should get extra time instead of 60 days to transfer to another company or leave to go to 180 days. Now, currently out of work, laid off H-1B visa holders have either to find a new job within 60 days of being laid off or return to their home country. And the congressional committee said, look, give them a chance, let them stay longer, because 60 days is not enough to find a new job. So they're going to try to do 180 days instead. Immigration barriers force U.S. companies to relocate foreign employees overseas. So now some of these H-1B people will not be able to get their time extended, so they will be relocating them to Mexico or Canada and transferring to their Mexican and Canadian branches to keep them on board. Now, U.S. border agents blocked hundreds of migrants who tried to cross the U.S.-Mexico border on Sunday, mostly from Venezuela. These people were trying to cross a bridge from Ciudad Juarez to El Paso, Texas. They were able to breach Mexico security, so they tried to break the border, but they were blocked by physical barriers and they had to return to Mexico. Also, I was reading in a Caribbean online publication that there was a raid on Caribbean immigrants who had convictions for various crimes. So they really got together about 220 people from the different islands in the Caribbean in the U.S. who had background in getting arrested and convicted for domestic violence and other crimes, and they were ICE got them together and detained them, and they were going to deport them. Limber is saying hello. Good morning, Marina. Good morning. Manish is saying good morning. Good morning. Santosh Kumar says hello on YouTube. Hello. Alero Ehiman says hello. All In says hello, Marina, and good to see you. Guys, I'm going to talk some more about news, but please post your questions. And I love answering your questions, and it makes this show interesting, right? It makes the show interesting. I got some questions this week. Actually, some people from YouTube came to us for a consultation, and I wanted to discuss this. So I already started talking about it this morning in terms of people who are from the Caribbean. There was a sweep, a raid to get them arrested and deported because they have criminal convictions. So let's talk about how criminal convictions affect your immigration history in the United States. I'm just going to start by saying, generally, if you have a criminal conviction, it is bad for your U.S. immigration history. For your case, it's really, really going to be bad for your case, and it's going to be super hard to deal with. You're going to need waivers. You're going to need all kinds of issues to be resolved that stem from the conviction. Some things are mandatory to be deported. So if you're convicted of certain crimes, I'm going to give you some examples right now. Give me 1 second. And I'm just saying hello to some people who are watching us on Instagram. Hi, people. Okay, so just going to open this page here. Okay. There's this particular chart that has a list of everything that's mandatory for removal. Okay, so according to U.S. immigration law, there's 3 types of criminal convictions that will make you inadmissible, meaning you're not going to be able to get a green card, and if you have a green card, they will make you deportable. And they are defined generally in immigration law a specific way. Now, these are immigration definitions, and then I'm going to tell you what state crimes fall into those definitions. for, first of all, immigration aggravated felonies. Some of these are not even felonies, but immigration law considers some crimes aggravated felonies. Number two is crimes involving moral turpitude. So like immoral crimes, like prostitution. And three, category three is crimes involving illegal drugs. Marijuana has become a very disputed type of issue in the United States. Some states have already made marijuana legal, selling it is legal, but for federal law, marijuana is still illegal, and transporting it is illegal, and working like on a farm or a company that deals with marijuana, packages it, distributes it, is going to be a problem if you apply for a green card or U.S. citizenship. So once you get U.S. citizenship, yes, you can work in these companies that legally deal in the state with marijuana. But until you get that blue U.S. passport, do not work in companies that distribute or deal or grow marijuana. You're going to have a problem, even though that's not even a criminal conviction. But right now we're talking about conviction. So let's start what a conviction is. Under immigration law, conviction in the immigration context refers to any outcome in which you were either found guilty by a court, so either you pled guilty or you had a trial and the jury or the judge found you guilty. A plea bargain deal also means you had a conviction because you basically agreed to the conviction. There was no trial, but the outcome is you have a criminal conviction on your record. For example, if you were arrested on a drug charge, right? You were arrested for drugs and participated in drug treatment as part of your plea deal and diversion program to reduce your sentence, you might have no criminal record in the state, but you will still be considered to have had a drug conviction because many states have laws that allow immigration judges to look at what you were arrested for and not even convicted. Mind blown. So you might not have a conviction. It might have been dismissed or something. But when you go for your green card interview or even your citizenship interview, they might say to you, I need to see your arrest complaint. And if you were charged with initially, accused of doing something with illegal drugs, having more, in your possession that is considered for personal use, for example, for marijuana, sometimes like 30 grams is considered okay for personal use. For immigration, they will still count it as a conviction, right? So now I mentioned the first category of these general problems that you might have for immigration is aggravated felony. Under U.S. immigration law, being convicted of an aggravated felony makes you ineligible to get a green card. While aggravated felony sounds like a very serious crime, the name of it is misleading. It's only called that in immigration. It might not be an actual felony. And aggravated doesn't have to be like reckless driving or anything like that. It's just a name that it's called in immigration law. Aggravated felonies are a special list of crimes that the United States Congress decided will make immigrants inadmissible. So for a U.S. citizen, it's just whatever it is, a conviction. But for an immigrant who doesn't have a green card or has a green card but not yet citizenship, these are considered heinous and aggravated felony, and it could even be a misdemeanor. It doesn't even have to be a felony. Now, some of these are aggravated felonies: murder, drug trafficking, filing a false tax return, sexual abuse of a minor. For example, consensual sex, somebody who's dating, a 21-year-old dating a 17-year-old. If you are convicted of that type of a crime in the state, it's usually like a misdemeanor or a low-level crime. Immigration considers it aggravated felony and usually means you're going to get deported. What is a crime of moral turpitude? This is like the lesser category, but still considered a problem if you have a conviction under these. Those are murder, rape, fraud, animal abuse, or fighting. It's now this is going to depend on the state, and in some jurisdictions, immigration courts decided that certain things are moral turpitude crimes and others are not. So those are like, it could go either way. It depends on your individual situation. And usually some crimes that are very minor for the state, but could be considered crimes of moral turpitude for immigration law are joyriding, like stealing a car just to have fun and ride around, assault, like a fight with someone, breaking and entering. All right. What is a relevant drug crime? A relevant drug crime is anything over 30 grams of marijuana. And then they also look at criminal convictions in a foreign country. So again, if you had an arrest and a conviction in another country for a crime, they look at it through the prism of how U.S. immigration law sees that. So just be careful if you have convictions and you want to get a green card or U.S. citizenship. Make sure you always have a lawyer. If you do this on your own, you might not be able to get anywhere. Now, Aziz Elias says, if my asylum case was terminated and I got my green card from VAWA self-petition, can I travel to my home country? Absolutely. Now, you're going to need to carry with you an advance parole document, I-131 form. You get an advance parole. Make sure you have the order from the court that your case was terminated and that you withdrew your asylum case. And then you should be fine and you can travel. And Aziz says, can I file a green card for petition for my ex-wife after I remarry after the VAWA? You can. There's nothing in the law that says you cannot. In other words, you can marry your first wife, the one that you were married to prior to your U.S. citizen wife. The problem is it's going to be a presumption of fraud, and you might lose your own papers. So don't do this until you become a U.S. citizen. And once you do become a U.S. citizen, you can marry and file for your earlier wife. And then remember, you're going to have a very difficult process of proving that your marriage to the U.S. citizen wife, where you got the VAWA from, was not fraudulent. And I said hello already to some of my friends here. Santosh Kumar says, if you received a request for evidence notices in your U visa case, am I eligible for bona fide determination? RFE for biometrics of my wife overseas, biometrics of my son under 14. Yes, so it looks like the request for evidence is just for biometrics. It doesn't affect that your case is a good case. You should be able to get a bona fide determination and get that work permit that I know you're really, waiting for very impatiently. I get it. Just checking you guys on YouTube. I see you guys are watching. And I see that people on Instagram are watching. Post your question in the comments and I will answer it. All In says, I asked you before a question about my green card interview recommended for approval, which still remains on the website. The status is interview completed and case must be reviewed. Today is exactly 1 month. Should I start to worry? I usually give them 90 days, just in case. So give them 90 days and then you can start to make inquiries. Suki says, good morning, Marina, and happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to you, Suki, and to everybody watching. Wednesday is sometimes called hump day. Hump meaning it's the middle of the week, so we go up, and Wednesday is the middle. It's hump, like it's like sort of like a camel has a hump. And then after Wednesday, we're going towards the weekend and down. So people who weren't, whose English is their second language, I had to learn this myself. Hump is the middle of the week, and that's the day after which we can say we're much closer to the weekend. Manish says, I'm applying for VAWA abuse case. My wife is an American citizen. I come here with a crewman C1D1 visa in 2019. I applied for my case in December. I got my receipt notice on February 1st. When will I get my biometrics to complete the process? It depends. You could get your biometrics in like 60 days or so, or if you've done biometrics before, if you filed for something with USCIS before, Sometimes they're able to use again, without making you do a whole new appointment, the old biometrics that you already gave them. Manish says, can I travel the world if I get travel documents? Yes, if you get advanced parole, you'll be able to travel. Yes. And he says that he also filed for adjustment of status. Right, that makes sense. Many people who file for VAWA in the same package apply for a green card adjustment of status. Alera says, what's oh, I think I'm missing the beginning of this question. If you could retype the entire question and post it, I will answer it. F Baby says, good morning, great attorney. Good morning. Saleh says, hello, hello. Oh, okay. F Baby says, how long does the work authorization based on asylum take? First, we have to wait 180 days. Then we file it, and then it might take a year to be processed. Although they started posting now that if you have an asylum application and you filed for your work permit, you can try to expedite it through calling or chatting with the USCIS bot. Some weird speck of something. Alera says, hi, Marina, my cousin got his receipt notice of application with his prima facie, and now a letter exempting him from biometrics. So this is what I mean. Sometimes they already have your biometrics and they're just reusing them. Please, what is next for him? When can he get the work permit? If your cousin filed for VAWA and green card in one package, then once he does his biometrics, it will take him, it depends, between 4 months to 16 months sometimes to get the work permit and the advanced parole. Natalie RC says, hello, Marina. Does USCIS check your postal records? Yes, sometimes they do. Saley Hassan says, you say that there's room for truck drivers in the US, but when the truck drivers from Africa try to apply, we won't get a job. Listen, when you apply for jobs, you apply to, people who have private businesses, and it's difficult to say everybody is the same. I would apply to more places. Eventually, you will get a job. El Paso says, hello, I have been waiting for my interview for asylum for 6 years. Can I get married and get a green card through my girlfriend who is a green card holder, or do I have to wait to get her citizenship? You're asking me a question that has a dual answer, 2 parts to this. If you have asylum pending, you can marry somebody with a green card or U.S. citizenship. The marriage should not depend on your immigration status. You understand that, right? Because that you're telling me that you're only marrying them for papers, and that's not good. You will not pass your U.S. green card interview. But if you're asking me if you can file through a marriage to a green card holder, it's probably not going to work, because if you came with a visa, but all this time, 6 years, you've been waiting for an asylum interview, it is not considered like legal presence for the sake of filing for you. Once she becomes a U.S. citizen, right, then she can file for a green card for you. So you can marry or not marry, that's up to you. But if you are married to somebody who's just a green card holder, they shouldn't file for a green card for you. They can only file the I-130 family petition. That petition does not get you your green card. That's just a family petition. If she's a U.S. citizen, then you file family petition, green card, advanced parole, and all that, and maybe even try to close out your court case or your asylum case. Dita says, hi, Marina. Hello. Do you think the new time cycle goals will be met by the end of fiscal year 2023? Absolutely not. If you tuned in earlier, I talked earlier in the show that for the month of March, they only decreased, the National Visa Center only decreased the amount of cases that are on backlog by like 6,000. That's nothing considered how many people are in line. We're talking about 388,000 people are waiting and in line. I don't see them getting all this done by October and getting all those goals met, not at all. Manish says, my receipt number I received February 1st, how long to get my work permit, EAD in VAWA case, how total process for green card. Okay, the total process for green card, probably 4 years. Green card based on VAWA, add 4 years to February 1st, 2023. Hopefully by spring 2027, you'll get your green card. The work permit, I'm going to teach you how to check yourself. Okay, so you go to USCIS. I'm gonna share my screen right now. Okay, so you will see I go to the page in USCIS. This is check case processing times. I choose the form for the work permit, I-765. 1 second. I then choose the form category. Since you filed based on a green card with VAWA, it's considered family based. We choose C09, which is right here, based on a pending I-485 adjustment application. And then you have to choose the processing center that has your work permit. Look in the receipt notice. It's going to be in the top left corner. So if this is my receipt notice, right? This is the logo in the middle. You're going to have the receipt number. So on the left side, you go down, it's going to be in the top left corner. I mean, bottom left corner. On the bottom of the receipt notice for your I-765, okay? For the work permit application. Then, for example, if you are in the National Benefit Center and you click Get Processing Times, it shows 10 months, right? But so that's how long it's going to take you to get your work permit. From February 1st, 10 months. If your case is in the Texas Service Center, it's going to take you 15 months, 15 months, over a year and 3 months. So it depends what processing center your case is in, and then you'll see how long it's going to take you based on that. The numbers I showed you is when they report 80% of the cases, most cases, that's how long it takes. All right. Okay, so Manish says Nebraska Service Center shows 20 months. 15 and a half months for Nebraska, okay? So if you filed and your case is in Nebraska, 80% is 15 and a half months. So that's a year and 3.5 months. Aziz says, I terminated my asylum case and I get my green card through VAWA. Can I travel to my home country? Yes, absolutely, Aziz. Yes, if you got your green card, final green card is through VAWA, you can travel. You can travel to your home country. Okay, so for now, I don't see any more questions. I think for today, I don't see any questions on Instagram either. For today, our show is done. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate your time. Have a favorite. Oh, I just want to say hello before I turn off to Kamuji, who's always watching us. Kamuji from from Atlanta. Thank you for watching, and I'm going to log off. And Hair Lucky is asking if I deal with asylum cases. Yes. So I guess before I turn off, let me tell you about what we do. We do a lot of asylum cases in different states, all 50 states. We have cases in Atlanta, Georgia, for Camuj. We have cases in New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Connecticut. I've had cases in Hawaii, Alaska, North Carolina, South Carolina. So we do get a lot of cases from all over the world, and they end up in the 50 states, all the 50 states. Asylum, yes. Besides that, VAWA. VAWA is when you're married to a U.S. citizen or even a green card holder, or you're divorced from them up to 2 years from the divorce, or they died, again, up to 2 years from the day they died. We had a woman who was married to a man who was a green card holder and died. He was using a lot of drugs. So we got her a VAWA green card and work permit for herself and her son until the case was finished. And then they both got green cards, her and her son. We also have men clients filing for VAWA. So if you're married to an abusive woman or same-sex partnership, our phone number is 718-769-6352. If you're watching me on YouTube, it's on the bottom of the screen. And if you're watching me on Instagram, it's also in my profile. But the phone number is regular phone, 718-769-6352. We do paid consultations only. We don't answer any questions for free on the phone. But if you watch me every week, I answer questions for free here. So this is where I do my like sort of mini free information sessions. I hope this is helpful to you guys. Give me a call, Marina Shapelsky. You can find me on TikTok. You can find me on Instagram, on Facebook, and pretty much on all the big platforms. I hope you have a great week. And oh, great, you sent a message on Instagram. Awesome. Thank you so much. We have a team that answers these messages. Thank you so much. Have a great, great week. We'll see you next Wednesday.